presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN 9:06 a.m. Thursday morning. We got 24 minutes to go until the opening bell and trading overnight. Talk about remarkable action to the downside. We finally get a pullback in these markets. You're looking at an S&P, quite a pullback indeed, down 1.4% right now, trading at 42.89. The NASDAQ 100, down 212 points. Quite a pullback for the tech stocks. I believe you had Apple, Amazon, and Google all making all-time highs yesterday? Yes, I believe so. Amazon, quite an acceleration. You're still going to open at 36.38. I mean, to put that in this chart, for Amazon shares, you're well above anything that we had for an all-time high prior. You talk about Apple shares. Apple didn't quite make it. That's what I thought. Maybe you made it just near it. Maybe you made it overnight. Did you rise above that level? No, you did not. So I got an all-time high in Apple of 145.09. Just up near that level. We're going to open about 141 this morning. We talked about Amazon, Google shares. Yes, they did hit a high of 26.12 last night, all-time high 25.62 this morning. Maybe it was Microsoft. I think it was Microsoft. There it was. So you had Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, Apple, right up to that limit. Microsoft. So Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon all-time highs yesterday, getting a little bit of a pullback. I mean, the run that this market has had, driven by these tech stocks, folks, you can't almost overstate the last, really, 5 weeks, you could call it. I mean, just even on Microsoft alone, you were at a price point at $243. You added almost $37 to that price point. You look at the pullback that we have going on, not too dramatic in light of where we were, folks. This run began May 19th at 13,000. We're still up approximately 11% from that price point that we were trading at about 6 weeks ago in the NASDAQ 100. S&P's, all things considered, right? I mean, you're just backing down, folks, for some context here as well. You pull up the S&P, you put a little 382 retracement just on the run that we've had, folks, from June 21st. You're talking about just a retracement of 4, 8, 12 to 13 trading days to the upside. Now that is a 200 basically and $25 acceleration, 25 point, you could say, 225 points. The S&P trades up from 41.26 to 43.53, and just like that, we give back 61 of those points. But a 382, folks, is still about 22 points above this level, and that's just a healthy pullback. You don't get these types of accelerations when you're talking about a move in one way, record-setting. I think the S&P set 7 consecutive records. First time that's happened in a while in the markets, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback today. Note and bond, really some acceleration there. You look where we are. We break well above anything we've seen, even above the levels of early March. You got to go back to February. Actually got to print a 1.25%. The yield on the 10-year, we're back to about 1.29% right now. You see the chart pulling back a little bit. We really had an acceleration as we had yields pulling back in a big way, as you had the market pulling back in a big way as well, and you had the 10-year really accelerating in price. Bloomberg joking around this morning, there are just not enough bonds. We're out of bonds, folks. But as they say that, finally getting a little bit of a pullback and a retracement, not so much in the markets. Interesting that we get the 10-year actually back to where we're trading at yesterday morning. The markets wish they were back. The bulls wish they were back to where we were yesterday in the morning, that's for sure. And this market just continuing to pick up steam, folks. Cannot find a bid right now in the overnight session at all. And as I mentioned, when you look at where we are in Europe, you get the DAX down 1.92%, FTSE down 1.87%, CAC roll down 2.11%. We're only down about 1.46% in the S&Ps and a pretty similar number in the NASDAQ as well. Dow right there as well. Not often that all of these indices are right across the board in symmetry in terms of 1.44, 1.47, and 1.49. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, though, definitely leading, down 2.2%, now under 2,200. We're opening in about 19 minutes. We'll see what happens, and remarkable action. Now, we got jobs numbers today as well. Jobs numbers as in jobless claims. the headline there is unexpectedly rise to 373,000. You do want to see that number decreasing. You put it on a chart, though, and all things considered, that's a trending line downward. 371. So last week's claims were revised upward. There it is. By 7,000. So the previous week comes in at 371. This past week coming in at 373. So actually an uptick by 2,000 in terms of initial jobless claims. When you get into continuing claims, that number falling by, here we go, 145,000 to 3.34 million. You check out the chart on continuing claims, definitely a decreasing number there as well. Now, what you are dealing with here is the number of programs that people are able to get on for benefits. The total of those receiving benefits through all programs fell by 449,000 to 14.2 million. Remarkable number. Now that number is 2 weeks behind. I imagine you're going to see that number pick up as some of these stimulus programs, especially as we work towards September, start going away and you see people falling off those rolls because, yeah, continuing claims, you talk about a number where we're at 3.34 million, but that does not include many of the stimulus benefits that are available. That number, 14.2 million. Quite a number indeed. I talked about yields. There it is. Treasury yield falls to 1.25% amid concerns about economic growth and COVID variant. The thing that cracks me up most about days like this, folks, did we not have a concern about economic growth and the COVID variant yesterday? I'm out here talking about encouraging those that have the ability to get the vaccine, the Delta variant. Okay, it is something we're aware of. But everybody's been talking about it because it's something we're dealing with and it's something that is impacting economic activity. So it's always amusing when somehow overnight the market says enough is enough. We're finally going to pay attention to some of the concerns that are going to be stretching forward. We're coming into earnings season. Expectations are going to be high. We're not going to be dealing with the comps that we dealt with for the prior quarter, which the comps were just almost useless in terms of the quarter data that they were going against in 2020. This quarter data is going to be probably a little bit different, and the benchmarks and how they're going to be able to be judged as you come off a quarter that was so magnificent for many of the stocks, especially the tech stocks out there. We'll see what happened. Remarkable action, though. 1.25%. I keep using the word remarkable, but there's a lot of action here, folks, in a big way, and we're going to see where we open. But, man, it was a constant flow overnight. We got well below the lows that you had on Tuesday in a big way. That level was about 43.10. S&Ps bring it down to about 42.80 overnight. And as I said, we've just been chopping around at this area since about 6 a.m. You got about a 10-point trading range in the S&P. The initial jobless claims number does like absolutely nothing to that. Can't even find it basically on this chart. Comes out at 8:30 in the morning. You got the S&P down 60 points, basically bumping up against lows. And you check out the VIX. Quite a spike indeed. The VIX trading at 2042. Something to keep your eye on, folks. Always a heads up. Now, we got the pullback on Tuesday as I'm in the market in the S&P. As I mentioned, we're above that level in the VIX right now. We are below that level in the S&P, so that correlates. What did not correlate, which is a heads up when you see this stuff happening, is that we come into the long weekend Friday at 1452. Lowest level we had seen in the VIX since the COVID pandemic began, 1452. Meanwhile, we open up trading on Tuesday and the market says, you know what, we're more comfortable with the VIX to the 16 level, maybe the 17 level. Even after you claw back all of the losses, even yesterday, you had the VIX float between 16 and 17, elevated levels versus the end of last week. And what happens? The market spikes to low prices. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back talking to our man Kevin Hinks. We'll be right back.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500-plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps right now, negative by 60 points. NASDAQ 100, negative by 192 points. We get the Dow off 506. We get the Russell right at 2,200 this morning. The Russell trading down 49 points at 21.99 and jumping back to the VIX as the VIX spiking 2046. Now, as I mentioned, the VIX, you're talking about a series of lower lows and lower highs. Previous high spike we got on the VIX back in June 21st, 2182. The spike we just got in the VIX right up near that level, but 2129. You see the low we had. We came into that long weekend talking about with a 14 handle, the VIX right back up to 2046, but we'll see what happens. We get the opening bell in about 11 minutes. Let's jump over to our man, Kevin Hinks. Folks, every trading day, 11 a.m. Eastern time, fast market on the TD Ameritrade Network. Kevin Hinks, Alex Coffey, and the team breaking down the market action, walking you through hypothetical trades. I'm sure they're going to have a few things to talk about with the market action this morning. Kevin Hinks, what's happening, man?
Good morning, Tommy O'Brien. Yeah, this is an interesting thing to wake up to this morning, but I also want to say with a market that was bumping up against all-time highs, I look at the, three of the four major indices. Let's put the Russell off by itself for a moment. I see the E-minis down 1.4%. I see the Dow futures down 1.4%. I see the NASDAQ now down 1.3%. This is a pretty balanced technical correction here that we're looking at. So it's just not getting my heart rate up because, why is this happening? I think we're bumping against all-time highs. I think we're pre-earnings season. People are thinking, bouncing off these all-time highs. It's something that a lot of people were looking for, and we're getting it. Why? That's kind of tricky as to why. Is it peak growth? Is it just a technical correction here? It's not that big. A lot of these indices are already off their lows, but the market's not even open yet. So we'll see how this plays out today, Tommy.
Yeah, I was jumping around early this morning, Kevin, and I'm always amused. Some of the headlines, it says Dow down 500 points on CNBC on economic growth concerns and variant concerns or something. I said, was there something that happened overnight, Kevin, in terms of the economic growth and the variant that we didn't hear about that wasn't present in the market as of 4 p.m. yesterday when we got, Fed minutes and everything? as in I kind of agree. We're bumping up against all-time highs. I had a chart of the S&P up here. I mean, just the run, Kevin, that we've had, if you look at where we were just June 21st, you're talking about 225 points we trade upwards. We've given back 60 of them. I look at technicals a little bit myself, even a 382 retracement, which some people call Fibonacci, you're still not there. And that's only the run we had from June 21st, man, which was 225 points, folks, in the S&Ps. So, of course, you're going to get pullbacks. It's quite a pullback, though, to wake up to, as you said, man. And how about yields, Kevin? So we spiked to 1.25%, and we have seen a little bit of a pullback, actually, in the yield by about 10 ticks or so. But interesting action, of course, on the heels of the Fed minutes, where it looks like the market kind of clamoring for bonds and notes right now with yields going to 1.25. A lot of people didn't see that coming, for sure.
Right, exactly. And the question is, what is that telling the market? Is it just, futures can often go, and I've seen too much in my career. They can go where you never thought they could go, and they can go a little further than you thought they could go. And that's what you may be seeing right now in the bond market, because the U.S. economy is reopening. Is this a COVID scare? I think this country and the world is learning to live with the coronavirus and the variants and things like that. And there's going to be pop-ups. And that is just part of us living with this coronavirus. So, here's what I think, Tommy. I look at the cruise lines and the airlines and the hotels, and they're all down, right? That reopening trade is all down. But so's Zoom Video. So's Walmart, Costco, and Amazon down. So the stay-at-home trade is down as well. This is a balanced global, down day. Is it a correction? I don't even call it a correction yet, because 1.3%, 1.4% is not a correction to me. So, this is one worth looking at in trading. A VIX of north of 20 in the middle of the summer is a blessing for option traders. So that's the way I look at it right now. Right now, Tommy, this is as worrisome as a cloudy day.
Listen, I love what you're putting out there, Kevin. I mean, 5 or 6 days ago, folks, this price point was record territory in the S&Ps. We happen to continue upward as we came into the July 4th holiday in a big way. We've pulled back to that area. But yeah, if it's ever real retracement in this market, 60 points on one morning after coming up 225 points over a few days, not really a big deal. With everything going on, Kevin, what are you guys going to be talking about coming up in an hour and a half at 11 o'clock Eastern time on Fast Market?
We are looking at today Levi Company, and we're looking at basically the apparel retailers today. American Eagle, Levi's, Urban Outfitters, all those today. Lightfolio is going to do a presentation now. We're going to look at some retail today, Tommy.
And interestingly enough, Kevin, I pull up Levi. Levi looks to be flat to maybe even positive by a penny on the open as the market gets hit. And it is, just to bring it back, Kevin, I was talking about it even before in the program, I haven't recalled the time where I've seen the three indices, whether it's the S&P, NASDAQ 100, and Dow futures, all so closely aligned. 1.37, 1.33, and 1.42 right now on those indices as we all pull back on this market to start off Thursday trading. And how about the jobs number as we finish it up, Kevin? Pretty much in line with what we're talking about here. Continuing claims continuing to come down. The number of people on any type of a program, I think it's like 13 million. That will continue to come down, I expect, as some of those programs go away. But what do you see in that market? Do you look at that number right now, Kevin, or is it just something that kind of you don't want to see a massive surprise, and maybe that's why the market just shakes it off completely this morning?
Sure, we're paying attention to the high-frequency data always. And remember, we had plateaued up around 400,000 for a couple weeks. And last week's was a nice surprise down to 364. So a little more plateauing, up 9,000 to 373. Not a number that's going to shock us in either direction, Tommy.
Great take, man. I appreciate it as always. Well, Kevin, we look forward to the show today as always. Always nice when you get some market action to talk about, I'm sure. We appreciate the education and the information as always, and we're not going to talk to you tomorrow. Have a great weekend, man, as well.
Enjoy your Bolts Nation celebration, Tommy. Have a great day.
How about it? I know. We're Title Town in Tampa after being Title Town in Boston for a while, so we got it made. Great series for sure. Thanks so much, Kevin. Have a great one, man.
You too.
Thanks. Folks, tune in every trading day on Tiger TV. We're privileged to have the programming. It's an outstanding program. Fast Market by the TD Ameritrade Network. Always exciting when you get some market action. I look forward to that program today myself. And as we check in on the markets, we got 4 minutes to go until the opening bell. And as Kevin said, the stocks haven't even started really trading yet, folks. The opening bell is where you really get to see where real supply and real demand come into the market and where that equals price equilibrium. We're going to find out in about 3.5 minutes. You get the S&Ps coming into the opening bell, though. We haven't had an open like this in a while, down 1.35%. You're basically sitting right near the lows we have overnight. You got the NASDAQ 100 off 201. As I mentioned, you came into yesterday with Amazon at record all-time highs. Microsoft as well at record all-time highs. Tech stocks pulling back with the market today. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back for that market open. I'll be right back.
Are you having fun trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets open right now. You get the S&Ps negative by 55 points. You get the NASDAQ negative by about 215. You have the Dow negative by 392. So we get initial jobless claims. Near pandemic low, as Bloomberg puts it. You're talking about 373,000. And jumping around a bit, folks, forgive me one second. So I line things up here. Get my charts. Okay. Sorry about that. Just having trouble getting it up. We're getting a little bit of a lift in the market here. Okay, we got the S&P's negative by 53 points. The market rising from about 42.90 to 42.97. NASDAQ 100 barely budges on the open, 14,609 right now. You get the Dow gaining, though. Check out that pop by about 100 points to 34,184. And the Russell down about 45 points right near the lows, talking about 2204. What else we got? Jumping around, talking about crude, down 23 cents at 71.96. You got the gold contract up about $11 at 18.13. We got silver this morning up 10 cents at 26.23. And we'll jump to notes and bonds on the market open as we continue. We're up about 7 ticks to 133.24. Let's take a look at the VIX volatility index right now, trading at 1964. The market catches a bid barely. I mean, all things considered, folks, be careful in this market right now. We're just up to the levels we were at, whether it was 7 a.m., whether it was 8:45 a.m. You're negative 53 points. You're negative 1.25% right now in the S&P's. Market's been open for about 2 minutes only. We'll see where we go, but a little bit of a lift in the S&P's right now in that market. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on. We talked about unemployment. Let's talk about some of the individual equities. We got Beyond Meat. They're going to be launching meat-free chicken tenders in U.S. restaurants. Chicken, like the Holy Grail. I think bacon they were talking about is the Holy Grail if they could do that. But chicken nuggets. Everybody loves some chicken nuggets, some chicken tenders. 400 U.S. restaurants on Thursday. Company has not shared any plans to launch the product in grocery stores yet. So interesting how they push this out to stores, don't necessarily push it out to grocery stores, even though they already have a distributor process in place. The demand for our beef products really started to pick up to the point where we really had to allocate all production capacity to it. So we decided to discontinue, which was motivated by the fact that we wanted to make it better. This is, the first since 2019. They originally discontinued the chicken alternative, frozen chicken strips, to focus just on the burger. Seems like that went pretty well for them on that front, but they're coming back with chicken. Beyond Meat, put that on the weekly. Just been shopping around. Now, really, I can put it on the daily. This thing goes public at 45. It gets way out of line up to 240 right out of the gate. In July of 2019, during COVID, you pull back to about $60. This thing's just all over the place as the market struggles to price in the future expectation of earnings of this company with so much volatility that it's dealing with. What else we got going on? Google. So the states are bringing new antitrust suits against Google over its mobile app store. A group of state attorneys general sued Google over its Play Store and Android. Fourth antitrust lawsuit government enforcers have filed against Google in the last year. I mean, Google is negative today, but doesn't have anything to do with that antitrust case. Google down about 1.25%, if you recall, folks. I think it was back maybe in this area in September that antitrust rumors, headlines started to pick up. Google got a haircut from $1,700 to almost $1,400, and it's been basically a one-way ship since then. You're right in the middle of the trading range. It's been hanging in that trading range since basically back on September. You really take off on November with the market, but Google is a solid $1,000 above where we were trading at when you were at November. You're talking about 66% we've risen since that price, $25.73 right now in Google. What else we got going on? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, just talking about for a second some of these headlines. I disagree with this headline. I'm bringing it up to just talk about some of the rhetoric. So all the rhetoric talking about China clamping down on Didi, right, this week, and clamping down on Ant Financial previously. I'll get it, DIDI. You're down an additional 6% today. You put it on the 5-minute. Really got out of line in terms of getting up to $17. We find out that, things are just not what they seemed in China in terms of investing in public companies over there. You got Didi down 6%. Now, here's what I find so amusing. Crackdown on Chinese tech giants is backfiring on Beijing, says academic. I haven't even read this, folks. I'm not sure who the academic is. I disagree with their assessment because China is not messing around here. I don't know if the Chinese leadership would think that this is backfiring. If their main goal is making sure that no company gets too large, that's operating in China, that they keep everything in-house from now on, and they make sure that those Chinese companies are listing in China. That way they're not pushing everything out to America. And they want to make sure nobody running those companies, probably most importantly of all, becomes too famous and has too much power. And I imagine that they think that's going just fine over there, the way they smacked down Jack Ma, okay? So I would pay attention to that as we go forward, because I don't see anything going poorly in terms of Beijing. I mean, Beijing allowed one of their companies to come to the U.S., raise billions of dollars in a public IPO, take that money, and then they slap them down. That seems like it's going just fine, all things considered, from what their perspective would be. So keep that in mind as you see this headlines. It's going to persist, folks, probably for decades, if not longer. And we'll see how that plays out, but not what you want to see if you're going to be thinking about being in those equities. As Diddy down another 6%. When you take a look at Baba, yeah, down another 3.3%. Now the market's down as well, but continuing to fail to find a bid, and now actually below anywhere we were at prior, as you got Alibaba below the price point we're at in May, below the price point we were back in December. Let's back it up on a 3-year weekly. COVID, you got down to a price point of $169.95. Yes, $169.95 we got down that week of March 23rd. Amazing that you're within a stone's throw of that. We're only about 15% from that price level, and you're dropping 3.5% on any given day in Alibaba. S&Ps, putting it back on a 15-minute. We did jump to above 4,300. We're back below that level right now at 4,295. You get the tech stocks, 14,619. Let's jump around to some of the FANG stocks since they have so much weighting right now. You get Amazon down about 1.2% right now. Still relative strength. I mean, look at this. Remember when Amazon was trading at 36.50 on Tuesday and the market was like, my goodness, what an acceleration? Well, we're just back to that price point, folks. 36.54 on Amazon. I believe you had Microsoft at all-time highs yesterday. Look at this. Talk about buying the dip. Microsoft accelerating higher as we speak. Now, this will be interesting if we get some divergence and shaken out, because we have the NASDAQ 100 down 1.3%. No, we got S&Ps right there, right aligned still, as you got the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&Ps all aligning. Interesting that we're getting Microsoft really accelerating. 278.65, now down only 0.4%. Let's see, Amazon, I said, down about 1.1. Apple shares down about 1.1 as well, but catching a bid on the open as well. Let's jump around. Facebook shares down 1.5%. Netflix shares down about 0.7% this morning as well. And as Kevin mentioned, some of the airline stocks down 2.6% for American. Delta down 2.9% right now. Carnival shares down 4.3%. Norwegian Cruise Lines down 3.9%. These fears, they're real, folks. They are real. You know, we are opening it back up, and I agree with Kevin. We're going to be living with this. That's why I encourage you to go out, get vaccinated if you can. Encourage the people around you to do the same. Always surprised the market wakes up to a risk that we're well aware of yesterday. But that's the way it is. When they're selling, market's going down. You get the S&Ps down 58 points right now. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now. You're down 58 points. We're approaching, we're now 10 points. To put this on a 5-minute, let's put it on a minute to see all the action as since we opened up. You got quite a little bit, and we've given it all back. So that's a minute-by-minute action, folks. 42.91, right where we opened up, but we just gave back 10 points in the S&Ps since we popped on the open to above 4,300 briefly, trading at 42.91, back to 15-minute action. You got everything across the board, even crypto. You got Bitcoin down about $2,300 this morning, trading at 32,415. And as Kevin Hinks mentioned, you got to give props to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Quite an achievement, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Now, what's so cool about this as well is, if you recall, folks, if you're a hockey fan, 3 years ago, they were by far the best team in the regular season 3 years ago. They actually tied the record for the best regular season record ever in the history of the NHL, I believe, is what they did 3 years ago. They come into the playoffs with all the expectations you could expect, almost setting a record for the best regular season ever, best team coming into the playoffs, and they get swept in the first round of the playoffs. Talk about demoralizing, talk about a failure. But what do, folks? They take that failure, they work hard, come back the next year, and come back the following year and win a Stanley Cup back-to-back years. Just a remarkable story in terms of the devastation I'm sure they had. They were a laughingstock, rightfully so. You come in with those types of expectations, and you get swept out of the playoffs. It was a staggering wake-up call in terms of anything can happen. But, man, they used that to their benefit because I imagine those players, Stamkos, Kucherov, etc., they dealt with some pretty harsh realities, getting swept out as the best team in the NHL maybe that year, and came back and won it twice. Now, really cool part about this is the goalie, Vasilevsky. So he's 26 years old. He wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. And what's so cool here, I'm going to pull this up. Some of the statistics here are amazing. I know I'm talking sports, but it's my program, Stanley Cup. You got to talk a little sports. Hockey, my favorite sport out there probably. So Conn Smythe Trophy for the Lightning, 14th goalie to receive this award. When you get into some of what he had done, if you're not following this, folks, it is remarkable in terms of what he has done. So he's 26 years old. He's the first goalie not born in North America to win the Conn Smythe, okay? And he had 18 wins in 25 starts, 1.90 goals against average. What he really did that was cool is that he closed out. So here's where it goes. 7-0 in games following a loss in each of the past two postseasons. So anytime they've lost, he's come back 7-0. Anytime in the last postseason, he ended each series this postseason with a shutout. Okay, and that's including the 1-0 win against the Islanders in Game 7 of the semifinals. Shutout was the only way they were going to win that game in regulation when you win 1-0. Listen, they got a great team of defenders too, as well. He was the first one to be saying it's the team, not himself. Class act. But he has a shutout to end each series this postseason and 5 straight dating back to the 2-0 win in Game 6 of the finals last year. So they've won 5 series dating back to last year where he has closed out the series with a shutout. That's remarkable, folks. When you talk about NHL, shutouts extremely hard to come by, especially in the NHL, especially in the playoffs. So kudos to the Lightning. Going to have to upgrade my Lightning gear. I think it's about time as the world gets back out. But awesome stuff to see that happen. They're a great team, and they got a great following down here in Tampa in a big way. And I was talking to my dad this morning. I said it's even better for the sport of hockey down here because I want the sport of hockey to be like the sport of hockey in Boston. Probably not happening anytime soon. But we might get there just because Boston's such an amazing hockey town. But Tampa Bay's coming, man. They just got quite a hockey town, and it's only going to grow after back-to-back championships. Outstanding team. Amazing that goalie is only 26 years old. He seems like a household name, especially around Tampa or anybody in the hockey world. Okay, and as we jump back to the markets, it's not stopping just yet, folks. We're talking about down 66 points in the S&Ps, trading at 42.84. NASDAQ down 220. The Dow off 472. The Dow really got a pop on the open. You were up 100 points in no time from 34,080. Actually traded up 160 points. These are 1-minute bars again, and then gave it all back. Not what you want to see out of the gate. We'll see if that holds in terms of this price level. You're back right to where we were near the opening bell across the board. So you get the Dow down 1.32. NASDAQ, a little bit of a separation with tech stocks, now down about 1.6%. S&P's down 1.5%. Russell still getting clobbered, down about 2.53% there for the Russell. Let's jump over to the VIX as the negativity continues. Back above 20 on the VIX at 2015. All right, let's jump around to some of the stocks that are moving this morning. So Bank of America, JP Morgan, obviously the bank stocks moving this morning as you have yields rising, not quite, as you have yields decreasing. JP Morgan down about 1.8% right now this morning. Yields have been jumping around a bit. Bank of America shares down 2.8% this morning. Let's see, Wells Fargo down about 2.5%. Citi down about 2.7% so far this morning. Charles Schwab fallen 3% after Goldman Sachs downgraded the stock to neutral from buy. Said a note that Schwab had limited near-term upside after the retail trading boom helped to fuel outperformance for the stock in the first half. Any of these, it's going to be tough to compete with what we had going on over the last year in retail trading. Schwab down 2.5% right now. That's a minute chart. You put this thing on a daily, though. All things considered, it's been quite a run. You put it on a 3-year weekly, still well above the pre-COVID pandemic highs of $50. You're trading up at 68.34 right now on Schwab. Back to a 15-minute as we jump around. We talked about Diddy already. They're down lower again this morning. Google, basically low with the market. We talked about this as well. Let's check in on Google. Down about 1.5%. They have more antitrust cases coming at them, but that is not really hitting the stock this morning, folks, in any way. Talked about the cruise ships, down as well. This is always surprising, folks, in terms of the fears of the Delta variant, very present yesterday, especially when you talk about international travel, et cetera. Somehow today we wake up and the action is that people are selling the cruise ships because of the Delta variant. We're down 4.1% on Carnival. We're down 3% on Norwegian. Americans down 2%. Let's see domestically, JetBlue. Still down 1.8% when you talk about domestic, and I don't see domestic taking too big of a hit with JetBlue and Southwest right now, as we are going to have to learn to live with this, folks, and that's an unfortunate part of the reality, and that's why I encourage anybody to stay vigilant and encourage those out there that, if they're not vaccinated yet, it's going to be an unfortunate situation. I have young kids in my house, folks. I got a 5-month-old that was just born. He doesn't have the opportunity to get vaccinated himself just yet, and so he is at the whim of others. And that's why really I'm not letting them near unvaccinated people. That's a choice they're making for their own right. And it's not a choice they're going to make with my kids who don't have the choice to make on their own, because we're going to be dealing with it, folks. It's going to be happening. If you have people around you that are in any way high risk, I encourage you to tell them to get out, get vaccinated. Even kids, 12 to 16, I believe, can get vaccinated now. And I'm sure it will go younger as well. But the fears are real. And you're seeing it hit these cruise ships in a big way. Because, you talk about internationally, they got a long way to go with Carnival trading at $23.18. Remarkable when you think about it. We are back to prices in Carnival that you were trading at in June of 2020. It's been sitting there over a year on Carnival as it continues to struggle. S&P's down 64 points, folks. We got the NASDAQ down 237. Market action across the board. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be right back to finish up the program.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got this market fighting in both directions right now. The S&P's down 53 points. You put it on a chart. We're talking about volatility, and you got about a 10-point trading range. We're bouncing in both directions right now. This 15-minute bar that began just 9 minutes ago, we got a low there of 42.81. We're up about 15 points from the lows that we had within that 15-minute bar, trading at 42.95 right now in the S&P's. NASDAQ 100 off 201 points. Dow off 374, had been off as much as almost 500-plus points in the Dow, and the Russell off 2.3%, 21.97. Crude market, negative 53 cents in crude. Great run-up over there in Bloomberg, talking about OPEC Plus, and figuring in terms of what's happening in that market. Really what it all comes down to, folks, is it comes down to the United Arab Emirates. They want to boost, basically, their streamline baseline number in terms of where they are. The only two members of OPEC Plus that were able to upgrade, While production baselines used to measure each country's required cuts were updated for Saudi Arabia and Russia, the other 21 nations were stuck with levels set in 2018. That's an acute problem for the UAE, which has invested billions of dollars in new production capacity since that time. It's going to persist, folks. That's a battle, and it's a battle in a big way. Unless they give the UAE what they want, they give them what they want. Others are going to want the same thing, and the battle persists. But nonetheless, we're trading at 71.66 this morning on crude, and we get the S&Ps down about 53 points this morning as well. What else we got going on, folks? Head on over to the front page of TFNN. Our man Basil Chapman, he is coming up next. And Basil, he's got an outstanding two-part webinar, folks. Starts next Wednesday, July 14th. That'll be a full-day webinar, 9 till 4:30. That's followed up 2 weeks later with a 2-hour session. Both of those are live. It's about 9 hours. I'll get it out, of live education with Basil. In those webinars taking place, that's online. They will be archived. If you can't go to all 9 hours live, you can watch them as many times as you like. And if you're in the Miami area, folks, Friday, July 23rd, Steve Dahl, president of Taz Market Profile. He is hosting a live event in person. Please only sign up if you plan on going in person, but check that out. And you can use the promo code TFNN sponsor, all one word, all capitalized. Goes from $9.97 to $0, folks. A free event. We're all clamoring for some free live events coming out of COVID. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman, he's up next. Live programming all day. Have a great one, folks.